Mary Beth Patrikis, Mama Bear Productions, and I work with people who are motivated yet frustrated with their health and are looking for simple ways to look and feel their best. You may contact me at my email address, which is maryBeth@mamabearproductions.net. That's marybeth@MAMA, bear like the animal, productions.net. And we can set up a time to talk to see how, working together, you can thrive in life.
Well, good evening and welcome to The Right Side, May 20th issue. Just wanted to bring up our new commercial. Thank you, Mary Beth Patrikis, who has decided to advertise with us. So we welcome her to our advertising family. Tonight we have scheduled Senator Jim Runestad, chairman of the Michigan Republican Party. He has not yet arrived, and sometimes I don't normally leave my phone out, but I'm gonna now because he might be texting me. I'll put it away once he gets here. But so this place sometimes is hard to find, so we'll just have to wait and see till he gets here. But I've got some cool things to talk about anyway. So we're a little bit early. So I sort of started early because I wanted him to be able to step right in and start talking because I know he's got a tight schedule. So the first thing I want to talk about is I'm going to bring up another screen here. So just bear with me. Would you type in The Right Side News, please? Right there. Okay. Now I'm going to bring this out because this is what my good friend Tyler here has taught me. So I'm going to now, I don't want to leave studio. Where is it? Right here. I am going to share the screen and I'm going to show you something here. We're going to go here and then The Right Side News and share. Okay, hopefully you can see this. Hopefully you can see all this. Can you see this? Everybody see this? Don't know if anyone can see it or not. Don't know if anyone's here yet. So, okay. Well, let's just get out of here. All right. Well, we'll bring that back when somebody gets here. So let's see the comments here. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about some things that the LCRP has. I'm going to bring up an image here. The first thing I want to talk about is where's our, right there, the Pancake Throwdown. So the Pancake Throwdown is our part of our membership month, which is in June. You can't read it up there real good. I guess I got to change it to black. But Executive Committee member Michelle Blondeel is challenging me to a Pancake Throwdown on June 7th. So she and I are both going to be flipping the flapjacks over here at the Victory Center, and we welcome you and your conservative guests. This is a great time to bring that neighbor, that church member, that friend, that family member that's conservative, that you've been thinking, gee, I think they'd like the party. This is a great place to start. Bring them in. You can bring a dish to pass. Your guests don't need to, but bring a breakfast dish to pass. There's a sign up on the Facebook, and also you should have gotten an email, a place to sign up to tell us what you're going to bring. And then we're going to just have whatever, people bring baked French toast or bacon or biscuits or whatever. So they'll do that. So, and then we'll be able to have, we'll have a great, hi, Stacy, I see you here. So we'll have a great showing at this, and we'll have some great fun and some great food. So this is a great place to start. So let me get that out and I'll show you something else we're doing, and I'll probably talk about this a little while later. Where am my image file here? Now let's talk about some dirty dancing here. No, not dirty dancing, just dancing. So we're going to bring up our dancing. We have some, oh, there's Chairman Runestad. Let me just go to commercial here and I'll be right back.
John Adams warned that the Constitution is wholly inadequate without a moral and religious people. As conservatives, we must reclaim the faith that shaped it, rooted in Jesus Christ and the Bible. To help you understand the historic Christianity that our country was founded on, check out theexaltedchrist.com, a resource website proclaiming Christ as King.
Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning is a fantastic new blend of herbs and vegetables made in Livingston County. Add a tablespoon to homemade breads, soups, stews, meat, poultry, vegetables, casseroles, sauces, and more. To order, email Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning at gmail.com or message the Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning Facebook page. It's time to divorce your Marry Me Chicken and take advantage of free delivery in and around Livingston County. Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning, the only seasoning you need.
Ready to make your real estate dreams a reality? Meet Lisa R., your trusted expert in Livingston County. With 25 years in the real estate marketplace, she offers a seamless, stress-free experience. As a Real Estate One agent, Lisa has access to a network of over 2,000 agents and a one-stop shop for mortgage, title, and insurance services. Call Lisa R. at 734-260-7277 or visit her at Real Estate One in Brighton. Let her help you find your dream home or sell your property with confidence.
John Adams warned that the Constitution is wholly inadequate without a moral and religious people. As conservatives, we must reclaim the faith that shaped it, rooted in Jesus Christ and the Bible. To help you understand the historic Christianity that our country was founded on, check out theexaltedchrist.com, a resource website proclaiming Christ as King.
remember to look at me after you're looking at my eye. Otherwise,
In my eyeball.
right in my eyeball, yes.
Do you have a water?
Here we are. There we are. Would you get the senator a glass of water, please? Thank you. Hi, this is welcome back. We got our stuff together. We found him wandering around. So he had a nice little tour of Hamburg's on the way here. So it's on a gloomy, rainy day. So welcome, welcome, Chairman. Welcome, Senator Runstead, to the Right Side Podcast, Livingston County. Our kicking butt and taking names podcast. Our reach is just growing, and we're so thrilled. So welcome. We're really glad you came out here. So we are looking forward to hearing about your plans. I know we scheduled this date back in February, so I understand you're a little busy. Tell us how it's been going, and like maybe what the highlights, some of the highlights, and maybe some of the challenges.
Sure. This is live?
It was live.
So I was going to work on my hair. I had no
Yeah.
idea. This was live.
Here,
so.
we're even going to get comments here in a minute. So,
Well, it was. I'm just going to lay things out there in terms of the way it is. When I started, I thought there was going to be no debt, and the debt has been quite substantial, and the fund balance was very low. We had $30,000 required to write a $20,000 check the next day, so the fund balance was $10,000.
oh my goodness.
And I guess I don't have to get into the hundreds of thousands of dollars that we owe. It's a massive pile of debt. And we were getting new bills coming in constantly. Still are. We got one yesterday for $6,000. But we also didn't have any employees. There was a number of issues. The MIGOP logo was, the domain was picked up by a guy who, I don't know if he was hired by MIGOP, but he wants to ransom it back for $25,000.
Oh my gosh.
The email system was got by a vendor, and he wants to ransom it back to us. And so we had to go redo everything. We redid the website. We've redone everything. So this has all been a very lengthy process. You have to have legal representation in this position. There's old lawsuits. You're threatened with new lawsuits. You got to make sure you're doing the right thing. I interviewed 8 different firms. I'll still remember the night I went to the 8th one, and I was just dog tired. And I was like, how many more of these before we decide? So we finally decided on a firm. Jonathan Koch is the attorney, and he was with the RNC. He's out of Grand Rapids, but did a lot of work for RNC, highly recommended by them.
Okay.
And has been doing a good job. And then it's been primarily trying to get money to have staff. I was working with another volunteer for really 2.5 months, 7 days a week, 14-hour days.
Wow.
You can just imagine Ohio is 8 million people. They have 14 permanent employees, a big fund balance when you start. I had no employees, no money, and a big pile of debt.
Wow.
So we were like a one-man band, playing the drums and the fiddle and the guitar and all day long, trying to keep things going. It is now becoming much, much better. We're getting, like I said, we've got an attorney, we've got a chief of staff.
Who'd you hire for your chief of staff?
Scott Hagstrom.
Okay.
Actually, it's executive director.
Okay.
So it's now beginning to right the ship, where I'm able to get out and meet a lot of the donors. You have to vanquishing this debt. Plus, if you're not paying your bills, you're adding more debt.
Sure.
So, I mean, we're not only trying to vanquish the existing debt, we're trying to make sure we don't add a new debt on.
Right.
So it's been me relentlessly working on the fundraising aspect of it. And that's been going pretty well. We haven't got the final numbers on the Kentucky Derby event, but that looks like we raised at least 50,000, but more checks are still coming in. So we
Oh,
don't
good.
know what the final tally was, and that's above all the costs. And in fact, I think even the ticket sales over the expenses, even I think that's going to come in as a plus.
Wow.
I've
Nice.
done a lot of fundraisers, like I was telling people when I ran. I said, I have run these kind of fundraisers. We're going to do them to raise money. It's not going to be just sitting down with major donors. And I have done that. When I ran for office, I said, I'm not insulting any donors that gave money to the party. You're not bought and paid for, at least I'm not, if they donate to the party. But I lay out the vision of why this is important. These donors live in Michigan. Their businesses are in Michigan. Their kids and their grandkids are in Michigan. Their homes are in Michigan. They want to see it thrive and succeed, and they're very familiar with what the Democrats have done and are doing to destroy the state of Michigan. So that's been going pretty good, particularly, I would say, after the president came to Macomb County, and he called me out and said, Senator Runstad, I hear, is doing a great job. And actually, that was kind of the catalyst that allowed me to start raising money.
Okay.
When they found out, no, Donald Trump doesn't hate Jim Runstad. He probably didn't know who I was. But that he's, said I was doing a good job. So I'm sure we'll be seeing a ton more of him, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But all I could say is we're righting the ship. We are having a fundraiser over in Grand Rapids on June 17th. If anyone can come to that, we're going to get that out here real quick.
Oh, good.
And so that one will be another fundraiser, a little different. The one for the Kentucky Derby was thrown the net wide for everybody who wants to come. I think it's going to be more of a business kind of event as opposed to, hats and
Sure.
crazy
Yeah,
coats.
that's why you made 50,000.
Oh yeah,
Fun.
it was a lot of fun.
Oh,
We had
yeah.
a great time. We had Senator Ron Scott was there. He did a great job.
Okay.
So there's that one, and then upcoming is Mackinac. We did a save the date that's going to be the 19th, 21st of September. Probably tomorrow or the next day, we're going to roll everything out. So we're going to have all the details on the website, so they will be able to go on, get their rooms, get their tickets, all of that kind of stuff. And it's going to be a spectacular event. I talked to Chairman Watley, and I've asked for J.D. Vance, and he said, he told me twice there at RNC when I was there last week, I've told every single person no, except for you and Mac.
Oh, nice.
So that doesn't mean yet they're committed to it.
All right. But he hasn't said no.
He hasn't said no, and he said, I've said no to everyone else leading up to that.
All right.
So I think it looks pretty good. And then we're talking with a lot of different, really exciting guests from all over the state, all over the nation, that are very interested in doing this. So I think it's going to be a fabulous event. We are going to have debates. People are asking about that. Yes, we're going to have debates, straw polls, stuff like that. I think it's a good opportunity to get a look at candidates and make up your mind, make your decisions. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think everybody that goes is going to find there's a lot that they'll be able to do.
Oh, good. That's good. That's good to know. I was kind of wondering about that. So I'm glad we got those dates out there. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of it. So we have some comments here. Greg O'Neill would like to remark that the 35th Senate district needs to be represented. I agree. What do you think? You think there's going to be any movement there?
No.
No?
Why would she?
I don't know. Because
it's not ethical.
She wants to run.
She's not going to be ethically induced.
No.
She's not,
that would be different, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be a shocker. You said, "Oh, we ethically induced her, the moral imperative of doing that." None of that makes a difference. I mean,
hand over the heart, the whole bit.
Oh yeah. It's a joke.
Okay.
No, I don't believe she will. For those who aren't aware, the 35th Senate district is open because Rivet went on to the congressional seat that opened up that Senate seat, and
Okay.
that was months and months and months ago. There's Democrat seats that open up, and she fills it or calls
Right,
elections
right,
immediately.
right.
But here, since it's Republican, because there is no ethics with this woman, she just says, "Oh, we'll let it ride probably till the day before the filing deadline," would be my guess.
Yes, that's probably true. That would be and that, for somebody that wants to run for president, this is just not something, or for what I'm hearing anyway, that she wants to run for higher office. This is not good on a resume. I would have thought she would have behaved herself a little bit more the last couple of years, but what do I know?
No, just power
Yes.
brokering. That's
Well,
all she's about.
I remember I was the chief of staff for a senator, Senator Mark Jansen. I don't know if you ever got a chance to work with him. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
he might, yes. So I was his chief of staff for 5 years, and she was the minority leader there. And the staff referred to her respectfully as Cruella de Vil. She was just impossible to work with. So most people just didn't. We just avoided her. There was nothing else you could do with her. So anyway, so you've got some staff now. So your staff now includes your executive director, and who else you got?
Sharon Lolio is helping.
Okay. She'll be here in a little while.
Yeah.
She's our second guest.
Yes, and not sure how long she will stay. I want her to stay permanently, but
Okay.
I'm not
She's
sure.
terrific.
She is fabulous. Jessica Barfield is doing the keeping of the calendar.
Okay. Another boy. Livingston County's full of great people, aren't we?
I'll tell you, if you don't have somebody who is good at keeping the calendar,
Agreed.
that means if people haven't done it, you get all these calls, and I don't have time.
That's
just
right.
say, call this person and figure this thing out.
Right.
So they may have to put multiple stakeholders together, get them together all on the right date, make sure that, like my arrival here, I was given very detailed instruction about how to get here.
Mhm.
A name or a number and a name for you to call
Mhm.
if I get lost. People that are not detail oriented, oops, they forgot
That's right.
to put the name or the number in, and now you can't find it, and then they're off doing something, and you can't find the location.
That's right.
And that has happened to me before with people keeping my calendar that weren't detail oriented. I remember my entire family going to an event, and they put in the wrong location and time.
Oh no.
And my whole family from around the state of Michigan came in. It just destroyed this whole Saturday because the details weren't correct. So you've got to have somebody who can work with people, who aren't intimidated by people that have a lot of money or a lot of stature. People that maybe can get yelled at even and not be
Sure.
impacted by that. So it's a job that requires a lot of skill set, and she's doing a great job.
Yep, I have no doubt about that on either of them. I remember working for various legislators, and I've hired many schedulers. And you're right, if they don't have that eye for detail, and you get appointments set, and all it takes, especially if you're in the legislature where session goes longer than you thought, and then boom, everything now has to be undone and then redone again. And these people need to have the skills to just juggle. So that doesn't work. Well, we got a couple hellos for you. Welcome to the LCRP podcast, Chairman from Kelly Powell and Rob
Hello,
Rodriguez. Great to see you both. Real honored to have you here on the show. And he is right. It is an honor to have us here. So what is it? So what's something that's in the works, or something that's in your head that hasn't in the works yet? What kind of visions do you have?
Well, there are so many that I should have listed them all.
Pick one.
We are going to start with the first congressional district on a conference call. All the delegates in the first district,
Okay.
we're going to encourage to get on the conference call. I did this when I was running for office. All the things I said, like Donald Trump said, this is what I'm going to do.
Mhm.
All those things are what I'm doing. So I'm going to conference call first the congressional district, kind of going through the same stuff we're talking here, bringing them up to speed,
Sure.
answering questions. And then we're going to go through all 13 congressional districts. I want to talk to all 7,500 delegates in the state of Michigan, answer the questions, explain everything that's going on. We had a meeting today about doing all kinds of training for the congressional district chairs and then the county chairs. and that's going to also be
Okay.
happening pretty quick.
Great.
So the training is going to start with um, Deb from the 11th district. He had a training program brought in that I heard so much good reports, fabulous training. And so that organization is going to be on Zoom with her to start with, saying, what are all the races coming up in November? And
Okay.
these are cities primarily and school board, or not school board, library boards.
Mhm.
So we went through today in Oakland County, and I was saying, you mean all these are open?
Mhm.
Somebody had misinformed me that the date was like a month ago to be able to get people filing. She said mostly it's in July. This is the filing date for
Mhm.
most of these. So we want to tell all the congressional district chairs to go on these websites in the counties and find all the seats that are going to be open and begin recruiting. Recruit people right now.
Yep.
That's for primary school board and, or not school board, library board,
Mhm.
and also these city councils, mayors. And we were going through in Oakland County, how many are swing or Republican leaning, and always it's all Democrats.
Oh, yeah.
The Republicans don't do anything. That is going to change. It's the stuff I talked about when I was running. We're going to change that.
That's good.
We're going to start training people to get out there and recruit now, and then we will help with the training of the candidates. And I think they have to do some local fundraising, because you're talking about a school, a library board, and maybe a city council. Maybe some of these cities are
Mhm.
very small.
Yep.
You can't raise some money to help. If we're showing you all the training of the volunteers and how you run the campaign,
Sure.
you should be able to raise some money to help these candidates, and then boots on the ground. A lot of times it's just printing up good literature,
Sure.
and we'll talk to them about all of that stuff. So we want to play in these races in November as a kind of kickoff to start making sure we eliminate bugs when we get into the
Right.
2026.
We have a very successful candidate training here. It is really in 3 stages. The first stage is, if you're ever thinking about it ever, come and let's work through this. Let's talk about it. No pressure. Let's kind of get you going. We started last year with 30 open seats and no bench. So I threw the training out there thinking, if I got 10 people and then 3 said yes, 3 said no, and 3 would think about it, I have a possible bench of 6. Okay, that's a good place to start. My first class had 40 in it.
Wow.
My second class had 45.
Wow.
And we did find some people that didn't want to do it, but then we found some people that did. And we had long-term people anyway, we put on these 3 classes. It was the start, before you start, now you've started, and then now you're into it. Let's come up with some, like, push you over the edge kind of thing. Let's deal with your challenges. Let's do the high level stuff. And we filled every one of those 30 seats, and we won them all. We won them all, and it just did great. So I'm happy to share any material I have. I'm a certified master trainer, so I've got my own. I put my own curriculum together. I've been doing this for years, so I'm happy to share it with you if you want it. So
That's
anybody
exciting.
wants it.
Share it with me,
Okay.
because we're trying not to leave any good ideas,
Right.
on the table. Anything like that. And maybe we might even have you get on with some of the county chairs and
Okay.
show them how you did this, because we had a discussion today about what is a win in this state politics.
Mhm.
Is the win always that you won the race? Not always.
Mm-mm.
If you've never done any kind of playing in these city races, and you start playing and you're training people and you're getting the whole training process set up, and you're getting some wins, even if you don't win them all, or even if you don't win the majority, the whole process is a win, because you've learned, and now
Sure.
the next cycle you're better.
Yep.
And you're better, and you got to start. A win is getting things going and making things happen. Even if you don't get out of the chute the win of the campaign, there's so much positive that comes out of it.
There is. And the other thing is, there's 2 other benefits. One, the smaller of the benefit is, even the people that didn't jump in now, they weren't ready or whatever, they still went through the process. They still know what to expect. and they learned all the stuff they, the checklist, the stuff. What do you need to have ready? I always tell them first thing, if your spouse is not behind you, there's the door. Don't waste any more time. Goodbye. You need that first. So we start there. So those people now are kind of thinking, they know what to think before maybe this next time they'll come back. So the other thing, this is my own little tested theory, and I think it works. I have to do the numbers yet. I have to work with somebody on to get it, but I will. And that is, there's always a, Trump brings the down ballot up. We have found that the down ballot brings the Trump ballot up. I have a person I'm not going to mention that I know very well and is never voted in her whole life until Trump, right? Voted for Trump. But she voted for Trump because she was never going to vote. This was, last year. She still wasn't going to vote, except her friend that she used to work with was running for school board or something, and went to her and said, hey, well, must have been township, because it was in a partisan race. And she went to her and said, hey, would you please vote for me in this race? I'm running as a Republican. And my sister said, okay, and oops.
The cat's out of the bag.
The person, I didn't say that. Forget.
Cut.
Yeah, so she went and voted. But the thing is, you vote from the down ballot up. There was lots of people. We got a lot of first-time candidates out there, and those first-time candidates are going to bring people to the ballots that maybe wouldn't have gone. There's some people that they don't know Mike Rogers, they don't know Tom Barrett, but they know their neighbor. And because their neighbor's Republican, they tell them, just click the Republican, bang, there they all go. So there's votes there that wouldn't have been there otherwise. So anyway, that's the Debbie down, the down up theory. So
by the way, you're absolutely correct. We were having the same discussion today, that what we find is, especially in the off year election, like you said, when Trump's not on there, a lot of independents voted for Trump, but they don't usually vote, and they are not that engaged, particularly on off year, and they're not really, into the Republican talking points so much.
Right.
It's very often, as you described, that somebody talks to them and says, do you understand what's happening here and here? And do you understand how important this is? Something as simple as that is more impactful than all the flyers and the mailers.
Agreed.
That you send them.
And if it's somebody's neighbor, and that's why, I always tell them in the, the very first class, once they've signed, is go find every single person you've ever known ever and ask them to go vote for you, because a lot of them won't go otherwise. They don't care about the national stuff. They don't realize, and frankly, the stuff that, the local stuff affects you quicker than the national stuff will. So, we try to get that message out, but it works. It has worked a great deal. I've sort of looked at the numbers, and in the areas where we had new people, the Tom Barrett's and the, had more votes than other areas. So anyway, it just worked out. So we're going to continue with that, try and get new people involved. We're going to have our first class, I think, coming up in June, because I've got some city council people that want to go through it real quick. So
wonderful.
Yep. So we're going to have our first class there. I am also going to, I'll send you some info. I was going to offer, and I wasn't going to charge any party anything, but maybe a small fee from everybody just to pay for gas and time and stuff. Maybe a small $10 or $15 fee to go through. But I will go anywhere in the state and put these classes on for people. So you can do it on Zoom, but I'm old fashioned. I'm old and I'm set in my ways, and my trainings are better in person. I make them laugh, so it works better.
Oh, and we had a discussion about that today too. There's so many meetings I've had, but a lot of the same stuff came up today, that some of these people will get organizations that will pay for like pop and pizza and salad.
Sure.
And they'll get RSVPs for 60, 70 people, and then have 20, 30 show
That's right.
up. And then they're like, oh, so we bought all this extra, and they say, well, we're starting to charge $20. Not really that we need the $20, but that way people.
That's right. When you invest, yes,
now
exactly.
They're going to show up.
And that's why I don't want to charge the party anything. I figure if I asked everybody for $10 or $15, they're going to get their money's worth. I can promise it. And besides that, they're going to get way more than $10 or $15 worth of information there. But yes, once they've committed to that or paid it or whatever, they're going to come. They're just going to come, and then they're going to pay attention. It's going to be valued, just like your kids. You give them something, and then it goes and ends up on the floor. But if you make them pay for half, suddenly it's it's revered. So anyway, so that's good. Well, I'm glad. And so I'm really glad to hear that you're going to be getting together the different chairs, et cetera, because I talked to our district chair, Dan. We had our 3-hour introductory breakfast where we kind of did our little brainstorming, and we have a wealth of knowledge amongst all of us. And so there are some that are better with fundraising, some that are better with membership, some are better with training, some are better with other things. So I'd love an opportunity to kind of network and see, how we can help one another and how we can, share our expertise to do better, because the better the local stuff does, the better the, districts do, the better the state does. So,
and there's so many areas that we could use help with. When I did training in the past, one of the things I would do when I start talking about being a candidate, and like you said, the spouse has to have 100% buy-in.
Yeah.
Somebody said, well, my spouse doesn't want me to do it. Well, then you're not going to do it. Or they would go, well, I thought when you ran for office, like you hit your neighbors one day and then you're done. Oh no, it's every day, every spare second, round the clock. And they start going, well, I don't think that's what I want to do. However, I might want to be the campaign manager. And I would talk about the treasurers.
Mhm.
What you do not want to do with any of these people is have them walk away with an ongoing problem. And you do if you don't do this financing. And it's not that complicated. You don't even have to have any kind of background. Just add 2 and 2 is 4. You're able to do it, but you don't want the candidate doing it.
Right.
The candidate should be able to parcel all that off to a friend or somebody that's the campaign treasurer. And we have people going, well, I can do that. I don't want to put out lawn signs. I don't want to make phone calls. I don't want to be the candidate, but I can be the treasurer.
That's right.
So starting to get that kind of help. Today, I needed some research on a whole bunch of stuff. And I sent them to an intern. I was like, the intern can't possibly do all this with everything else. And that's an example at State Party. We don't have the resources to go hire researchers. So there's a lot of things like that. You probably have the same situation where trying to find people that are good, competent people that want to do good for the party, and you have a dying need. One of the things I have a dying need of is people I can give research to say, hey, I need this and this and this. Can you do this and send it back to me? Just something like that. You wouldn't think the State Party would have that much interest in it, but I am the kind of person who's always, anyone who knows me or works for me knows, my God, he's just a delegating machine. They were just saying that to me today. God, my God, you went to the RNC meeting and all we're doing is getting relentless text. Oh my God, he never stops. And when you're like that, you need people that delegate too.
Yes.
So yeah, there's still a lot of needs, I'm sure, in your case and in my case, of things we could help people help with.
I got lucky. I especially on the podcast or whatever, I am always plugging, come help us. We could use help. Come help us. We've got committees. We got all kinds of stuff. And I had a longtime member email me and say, look, I don't knock doors. I don't want to knock doors or call people. I don't even particularly like people, but I can do some stuff from here. What do you need? How are you at research? Great. So every time I need a research project, I just ship it. I ship it to her, and I get back spectacular work. And
give me her number.
No. I'll talk to her. See if I can share. She's very, very good. But yeah, she likes to just sit home and raise her puppies and do my research. Okay. And that's just, I just value that so much, because that is not my brain. I'm creative and whip it together and, come up with a new idea and make that run and then find somebody to kind of manage it. And that's me. And so it's to sit and try to, can I research? Yes, but it's like when my husband comes to me and says, let's do financial chart. And I just I don't want financial chat, please. No.
And I actually sometimes feel it's faster for me to do the research, but it does take time.
Yep.
And I don't have the time.
That's
so
right.
I need somebody who can get there and start doing. Another one I can think of is photographers. If you have photographers to do everything from the candidates getting professional pictures.
Mhm.
They don't a lot of times know. They'll take a picture and there's a a balloon in the back over their head and it looks like it's coming out of their head, or
Right.
there's, the fuzzy pictures or whatever. Getting photographers all around the state, maybe even within counties, trying to get one that will go work with the candidates, but also like at functions and events, so that you have somebody, the chair of the party, the county party or district party,
Mhm.
could have a good photographer taking pictures. That's their only job. That's all they do, is just take pictures, and that they're good at it is very valuable. It really highlights the whole
It does.
organization. But that's an example where finding somebody that will volunteer to do that, that has the skills. We need to start. I'm thinking about putting a whole list of stuff together and sending out an email and say, here's what we need.
Do it.
But then here's how many of the other chairs around the state also have these kind of needs. So we
Sure.
have all these people saying, Jim, I want to help you. Chairman, I want to help you. But at the moment, I couldn't think of something. But if I put a whole list together and say, what can you do?
Mhm.
We will put your offer to use. We are not going to sit on anyone who has a skill set that we can use. We'll be contacting and saying, yes, thank you. We need help with this. We cannot do this all ourselves.
I found that asking for help randomly got me a couple people step forward, but mostly it was a bunch of silence. And I started thinking, okay, all right, Muhammad's not coming to the mountain. The mountain's going to go to Muhammad. So I started writing down what I needed, and I've got a checklist, and I sit and I think one at a time. Okay, this person, I know the person, and I'll call that person. I'll have coffee with them. I'll talk them into it. We sit down, we come up with the parameters. This is where we go. This is where we don't go. Now go. Boom, it's all yours. I'm not going to interfere. I'm not going to get in the way. Unless you have questions, come to me. Then we go to the next one. All right, who could do this? And that is time consuming. It's time consuming and it takes a long time. But I will tell you, my volunteer crew works on their own. I don't get in their way. I don't have to mess with them. My membership crew is doing a fantastic job. And I just love it. The delegate group with Sharon and Lalio and Connie Robinson and Marcia Dix, they are just killing it out there. And the delegates love them and they learn a lot from them. And I praise them every single podcast. I just really value them, but they're doing it on their own. We talked for. Sharon had us at her house and we had a 4-hour breakfast that turned into a long discussion. But you know what? At the end, we all understood one another. We all agreed on everything and off we went. And they've been doing a great job. And it just leaves me free to do things like when our secretary says, Deb, do you think you could start a podcast? Okay, let's start a podcast. And I'm going to show you, you're going to be the first to see this. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Watch this. I'm going to show this. This is phooey. What happened to it? Where'd it go?
You closed everything.
Did I close it? Can you type that in real quick? There it is right there. Bang. All right. Now let's get that off there like you showed me. Now, ready? We're going to go. This is something brand new. Something brand new. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da. Where'd it go? There we go.
There it is.
All right. Now I go to window, right?
And share. You should be
Just share. Oh, all right. Okay. There it is. Well, it's not what I thought. Can you guys see that? The problem is you can't see. Oh, you know why? Because it's still attached. Get it over there. All right. Now bring that up. We'll figure this out. All right. We're going to try it again.
Should add it to the stage.
Can I head to the stage? There we go. Look, guys, your Right Side News, your source for trusted I'm going to move it over here. Conservative. Oh, we can't get it down. Oh, it's not a live site. It's just the front. Oh, well. Anyway, we started a well, so much for my grand design here. We started a Right Side News. It is an online news source. I don't think Tyler, if I put it on, if I put it live, can I do that?
I would think go with that and then try controlling it from there.
Okay, there we go. So we have, for example, we have the Explore Our Stories, which takes us to the articles, our mission to subscribe. For some reason, it's not showing on the top of it, but we have articles, we have all the posts. See, we got all the stuff here I've got done. And then I've also got, look at this. Got all our podcasts. There's tonight's. And then these are all the links to the podcast. So anyway, we thanks Tyler. I've got Tyler over here, Tyler Hammock, just keeps me going here because I don't know where I'm doing half the time with the technology. But we've got the Right Side News. So anyway, all these committees and stuff just makes it so nice because then it just allows us to keep creating. So anyway, you're the first person we showed that to. Nobody has even seen that yet. So yes, it's awesome. So anyway, what can the local county, after he just told me he's got 5,000 volunteers he needs, what can the local county parties do? How can we help? What can we do for you?
The first thing that I would like them to focus on is the immediate need of recruiting in their counties and districts candidates for the upcoming November elections for city council and mayors and library boards. All you need to do is just go on these county sites and you can pull up for the November election. And what it's going to amaze you is how many are blank. There's nobody running. And what'll happen is the teachers unions and the leftist organizations will get together and they'll start recruiting people. If we start recruiting them now, I talked with our team about getting people out across the state. We'll pay for some, we'll have them pay something again so they make sure they show up, but we'll make sure they're fed. They will get top notch training on not only for these candidates, but it makes sense just to bring all the candidates and you can recruit.
Sure.
Because we want them ready for next year. So getting this going is imperative, but we'd like to know how many around the state of Michigan, how many of the counties have these openings? And then who did you recruit for these? Start recruiting and keeping us informed of that would be very helpful. Then we're going to get out there and pay for all the training and feed them, and it will be fabulous training. We're going to do this all over the state of Michigan. So it will be not just for these candidates in November, it'll be for all candidates, but we really want to see what we can do to start making a difference in these candidacies that normally the Democrats just absolutely control it all.
Yep.
In my district, it's 70% Republican. It's hard to say whether there's any Republicans on that library board, but the last 2 times I was in the library and the youth section was almost all transgender and LGBT, the entire thing.
It's awful.
So if people are out there that want to get involved, that you have libraries that all the material is LGBT and transgender, all on the top of the shelves. It was all, I went through every single book. They're just shoving this down the kids' throats. This is for the youth. And some of these book series in these libraries, absolute child pornography, horrific stuff.
I don't know.
So we need to really focus on making sure we have representation of good morals and ethics in these library boards. We need to make sure that we have good candidates in these city councils that we can use as a farm team.
Yes.
And we can also do this testing all this year, so we're ready for next year.
Yes, good. That's good. That's kind of what we're doing as well. So we'll definitely give you whatever data it is you want and whatever we can do to help. We had a big library board thing here, and it was a big argument, and I had a bunch of Democrats on this podcast yelling about the library books and the local conservative. We took one conservative library last year, or took the board to conservative, so it was 5-2. And the first thing we wanted to do was label the graphic books that any kid can get to, right? And the Democrat trustees of former past, they were arguing with us about who's going to do this and that, there, and, we mentioned, we just don't want porn in the libraries where kids can get to it. And of course they, announced there is no porn in the library. So I had done some research and I pulled up 2 paragraphs and compared them, put them on the screen. And one of them was describing a man and a woman and what they were doing in detail. And then there was another one about a boy and a girl or a boy and a boy or whatever it was, and they were describing in detail the same detail. And basically one of them came from, I'd taken one from Penthouse Forum and one from a book that was in the library that any kid could get to. And what I didn't show, what I should have shown, was the graphic cartoon like comic like just not descriptions, images of what they were describing. So it was, I couldn't believe what I saw. I couldn't believe those images. And I showed it, and that, of course, that shut them up. Then nobody says anything about no porn in the libraries anymore. But that's horrible. That's just absolutely horrible. And you're right. And it's library boards, city councils, and school boards historically slide under the radar. And because they're nonpartisan, people think that I've now started beating this drum. Nonpartisan doesn't mean you can't take a partisan position or you cannot announce your position. It means you cannot write I had my researcher, my husband is like Mr. Detail. I had him research the legality is that you just can't put it on the ballot. There's just no Republican or Democrat on the ballot, but you can put it on your sign. You can put it on your literature. You can do what you can do. You're welcome, Teresa. I got your back. So it is, that's what needs to be known. It needs to be very clear. So our sign up has already passed back in April. That was our deadline to sign up. And so we got some city council people and we got some zoning guys. That's where I'm looking for the zoning board of appeals.
That's elected. I thought it was appointed.
No, they're elected here.
Wow. And that's
Jay, if you're listening, tell me if that's right. Is it zoning board of appeals that we did? So
and that's coming up in November.
That's coming up in November. Yep. Now there's not enough of them to be a primary, or at least it's sort of like judges. You get the primary is going to be for 4 seats, 6 people, and if 8 people, you have a primary to get down to 6, and then whatever. I don't think we're at that point, so they're all going straight to the November ballot.
Yeah, you have planning and building. A lot of times they want to get subsidized housing in order to bring Democrats in.
Mhm.
Subsidized housing is the highest form of Democrat votership you're ever going to find.
Yep.
I mean, you have people who paid nothing in rent and nothing in utilities. You think those are Republicans who haven't worked in 5 generations? No, they're not Republicans. In Novi, I was told that the highest concentration of Democrats is the subsidized housing unit they put in there. The Democrats want that in Republican areas to get that voters into that area in order to turn it into a Democrat stronghold. So those planning and buildings are extremely important. These horrific material in these libraries. There's one, Gender Queer.
That's the one I was telling you about.
Somebody showed me the pictures.
Yes, that's the one.
It's anyone who looks at it, except a crazy modern Democrat parent. That's good. That's good for Junior to see. But anyone else would go, you're insane. You're destroying your kids. It's abhorrent.
It's terrible.
It's a 9-year-old boy having oral and anal sex with a full-grown man. Graphic illustrations and the language is
in
so
a comic-like thing.
Oh,
it's not even. I mean, it's comic like a kid would be attracted to.
Yeah, I was told, how is that not child pornography? They said as long as it's illustration, you can make it as graphic as you want. You just can't be a photo, but you can do the exact same thing in a photo in a graphic illustration, and that's not illegal. These people are psychos. It's astonishing that the Democrat parent 10 years ago, if you gave their kid a book like this, the dad would probably knock your teeth out, and the mom would be pulling their hair out, their head, screaming their head off. Today they go, it's so inclusive, it's so wonderful. The same parent, as soon as the Democrats
do that again, do that little list thing again. That was good. We got that. That's gonna be recorded.
Oh my God!
That's going everywhere.
Got me on the record. I don't care. Put it on there. Okay. Play it, loop it 100 times.
It will be. It'll be about 5,000 views in about a week.
100 times. Yeah, they're psychos. They're like,
you heard it here, folks.
the same exact parent that 10 years ago would have protected their child, that the mama
Mhm.
bear, Democrat mama bear, would have cared about her child, now says, "Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful." This same garbage that will destroy the psyche of the kids, they're all in because it's now
Yeah.
been approved by the leaders. The
Yep.
leaders, they have no mind of their own to say this is horrible for my children. Most times, if you see people try to read that, the adults, usually at a township board, are screaming, "Stop! You can't read that to adults. It's only appropriate for kids. It's too horrifying for everybody else. Only for kids hidden behind the doors of the school." That's the crap that these people are doing. So yeah, the fight has got to be relentless out there to stop this garbage.
Well, we've taken it on here. We had a podcast and it got a ton of views. We had a young lady. She's actually our party secretary's daughter. She's a sophomore, I believe, maybe a junior, and came on the show. And I'll tell you, that's a show worth watching. She was absolutely fantastic, and she was talking very. She articulated the position well from her perspective, having the boys walk into the bathroom with her wearing a skirt and how that was terrible. But she opined about the gender coaching that was going on in the high school, and she just said what. A matter of fact, I use it in our podcast commercial. She talked about how offended she was that the counselors and the teachers and everybody, the worst part was they convinced this child that if they went through with the therapy, if they went through with the operation, if they went through with whatever the blockers and the pills and everything else, if they went through with that, somehow their life would magically be okay. They'd be accepted by everybody and they'd be happy the rest of their lives. And she just said that was just absolutely insane. It just was, it was just a blow to every child that listened to it. And I guess I never thought about it that way. I just thought about, you can't undo it once it's done. Once that stuff's gone, it's gone. And all the medication or whatever else they take to block and to change and to grow things that aren't there, and it's just wrong. But then to have that belief that if you do this, everything's gonna be okay. All your feelings of insecurity and inadequateness is going to go away magically. And that, I guess, like I said, that was just a wake up call to me. It was, wow, never ever did I think of it that way. But
It's just astonishing. These parents can't break free to use their own mind. Whatever the leaders of the Democrat Party tell them, they could probably tell you it's good if you hack your arms off. It's going to show leadership to the party. They hack their arms off. They're just absolutely crazy.
God, I know.
They have no independent mind to think what you would have 10 years ago found outrageously destructive to the psyche of children, you now advocate because a leader has told you. They talk about Donald Trump telling Republicans what to do. We're not the kind of people who get told what to do.
No.
There's no Republicans out there who are going to say they're going to advocate their kids as minors cutting off their genitalia because a Republican leader tells them to do that. They use their mind independently. But the Democrats, you tell them almost anything. No, this has been approved. CNN has said it's good. MSN, PBS has said this is now good. And they go, oh, okay, well then I'll do it, no matter how crazy it is.
That is crazy. But I will tell you something. If there's a silver lining, and I hate to say that because the silver lining has to come at the cost of a bunch of children who are just messed up over this. But if there's a silver lining in their persistence in this, is that there are a whole lot of female athletes and students that have now they and their parents and their families have become Republican voters because, I've said this, I put an article on that paper. It's called Why It All Went Red. And just my perspective. And one of the things I said was that, they may be Democrats, but their parents first. And when their child comes home crying because they got beaten or hurt by a boy in their sport, or when they came home and said, I couldn't go to the bathroom because a boy was in the bathroom with me every single time, that's going to overrule many, not all, unfortunately. Apparently they haven't got to the point where they will overrule their foolish books. But it's
my experience is that once they get hardwired in college, that at that formative stage in their life, and
Right.
they go at almost. And when I was in college, the majority of my, I had a minor in political science. The majority of the professors were professed communists. They told at the beginning of class, now just full disclosure, I'm a communist. They would start off with this, and I thought, well, it's crazy that they're all one-sided. All of them are to the left. And then you get into economics, and some of them were, I thought that'd be a more conservative line. The majority of them were left. And then all the rest of the class, almost every professor out there, I think the number was 94% of college professors' donations go to the Democrat Party. So when your kids go there in this formative years and they're dealing with people who have PhDs, maybe 2 of the PhDs, they've never done anything except work for the government their whole life. And you got 8, 10 of these professors that are working on you all the way through semester after semester saying the same thing. The majority of kids do get shifted to the left in college. And it's like a hard wiring. It's like being in a cult. Very few of these people are gonna, even if they get the 2x4 to the head, like you said, with seeing what happens to their own kids,
Right.
their own daughter getting smashed by a 250-pound guy, they'll only say, well, maybe that wasn't good for my daughter and that, but the whole rest of it is all fine. This is the way that they think in this absolute narrow-minded way that is, I had discussions, we probably all have, trying to get them to look at really, what does this mean for society? What does this mean for the country? What does this mean for your own children? But they get this narrow-minded Democrat talking point that they learn in college, and the majority of them will not reverse.
Wow, just believe. Okay, we got a couple comments here. Ron Gallard says it is good against evil nowadays, it seems like. That is correct. Ron, I agree with you. And we have Mark Ashley Pride, greeting from Wayne County Republican Committee. Wayne County has Republicans? News to me. Very nice to meet you. You and your wife? I don't know, brother?
We actually have, we have
I'm
a lot
joking, I'm
of good, no,
joking.
we got a lot of great Republicans.
Well,
in Wayne
that's
County.
good. I'm glad to hear it because most of us out here in Livingston County don't know it.
In fact, I believe nationally, Wayne County was the second most number of Democrats to switch to Republicans in the nation.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Number 2.
Nice. Joined what's her name over there? The state rep that sort of who's the state rep in Detroit that in Wayne County that Whitwer?
Yeah.
Yes, that's she praised Trump and all hell broke loose for her.
Oh, no, that's
No, what was that?
It's similar to, it's escaping me.
Whitsett?
Yeah.
Whitsett, that's one,
yes.
right? Whitwer's over there. Whitsett that way. Okay. So I pointed east by the way when I go there. So anyway, all right. So first vice chair of such Citizens District Advisory Council member of Highland Park. Well, hello there, Mark Ashley Price. I'm messing with you because you got a little devil smile, so that tells me you have sense of humor. So I feel comfortable doing that. Good to meet you. Come see us in Livingston County someday. We'd love to have you on. You can be on the podcast and talk. So, all right. Well, any other final thoughts? I know you got to get out of here, but I mean, you're welcome to stay here. I'm having a great time. So you're welcome to stay here as long as you want, but I know you got stuff to do.
Yeah, I do, but just want to reinforce, I think I've raised about $360,000 so far in 2.5 months. We're going to do good, I think, in Grand Rapids. I think we're going to do very well in Mackinac Island. So the debt is going to have to be paid bit by bit by bit. But what we need
spoken like a true Republican.
Yeah, my goal, just also put it out there, and I said it on the campaign trail, is that when I am done, whatever that is, that there is no debt and that we have a decent fund balance.
Good.
There should probably be 150, 200,000 left at the end of the term for the new person.
For the new person, yeah.
You're paying the staff.
I mean, you're not going to do a second term?
Well, possibly.
Okay, all right. Just
whenever I finish, whether it's this time or next time,
right.
I would. I'm committed to no debt and having a fund balance.
All right. Last question. Do you see you got any teasers out there for any potential Republican Secretary of State or AG candidates? Boy, it's quiet over here.
I have been working on this, trying to.
Who should we pressure?
Yeah, I better not disclose
those
discussions at this point.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a number of people I'm talking to.
Okay.
we're also talking about moving up and having a endorsement convention and then the nominating convention. So nominating convention usually is in August. The Democrats do theirs in like February, March.
Mhm.
And you can imagine the difference. They
Oh, yeah.
slaughter us
Oh, yeah.
because we're battling right to this point. They're done. They're raising money all the way through. So that's something I really want to make sure we get done.
Okay. All right. Well, again, thank you so much, Chairman, for coming out and seeing us. This has been a wonderful and informative meeting. I'm glad you could come in and see us. Please put it in your calendar. Come on back and let us know about what else is going on and how we can help.
So thank you, Deb. It's been a great interview.
All right, we're going to send you the link so you can watch it later, especially your little list there. That was fun. All right, tune in a few more minutes. We'll be right back.
Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning is a fantastic new blend of herbs and vegetables made in Livingston County. Add a tablespoon to homemade breads, soups, stews, meat, poultry, vegetables, casseroles, sauces, and more. To order, email Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning at gmail.com or message the Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning Facebook page. It's time to divorce you or marry me chicken and take advantage of free delivery in and around Livingston County. Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning, the only seasoning you need.
The Exalted Christ Ministry offers resources to help you understand historic Christianity. Visit theexaltedchrist.com for articles, podcasts, and a video series exploring scripture and key historical topics. Get free resources today at www.theexaltedchrist.com.
Ready to make your real estate dreams a reality? Meet Lisa R., your trusted expert in Livingston County. With 25 years in the real estate marketplace, she offers a seamless, stress-free experience. As a Real Estate One agent, Lisa has access to a network of over 2,000 agents and a one-stop shop for mortgage, title, and insurance services. Call Lisa R. at 734-260-7277 or visit her at Real Estate One in Brighton. Let her help you find your dream home or sell your property with confidence.
Hello, I'm Mary Beth Patrikis, Mama Bear Productions, and I work with people who are motivated yet frustrated with their health and are looking for simple ways to look and feel their best. You may contact me at my email address, which is maryBeth@mamabearproductions.net. That's marybeth@MAMA, bear like the animal, productions.net, and we can set up a time to talk to see how, working together, you can thrive in life.
You're on.
Ready to
So-
make your real estate dreams a reality? Meet Lisa R., your trusted expert in Livingston County. With 25 years in the real estate marketplace, she offers a seamless, stress-free experience. As a Real Estate One agent, Lisa has access to a network of over 2,000 agents and a one-stop shop for mortgage, title, and insurance services. Call Lisa R. at 734-260-7277 or visit her at Real Estate One in Brighton. Let her help you find your dream home or sell your property with confidence.
The Exalted Christ Ministry offers resources to help you understand historic Christianity. Visit theexaltedchrist.com for articles, podcasts, and a video series exploring scripture and key historical topics. Get free resources today at www.theexaltedchrist.com.
And we're back, and here's my guests, my second set of guests, that Sharon Lalio and Connie Robinson, who are co-chairs with Marcia Dix, I believe, of the precinct delegate group. And these two have been doing a bang-up job of taking delegates and bringing them together once a month and educating them and forming getting them to form relationships with one another. So it is it's terrific that I could not be more blessed that I have this group of ladies in my corner, because I talk to other chairs and I've never ever not appreciated my volunteers, never. But my appreciation grows when I hear from other chairs that they've got to run their dinners, they've got to run their precinct bills, they got to run their stuff. And I'm thinking, not me. I got me some good people. So welcome, and thanks for being on the. Thanks for being here. It's interesting because Sharon's working a lot, or helping out, according to Chairman Runstead, who was just here. She's busy there, so I didn't know that they're both coming from the same place. So good.
We arrived right at the same time.
You did good. So, all right. Well, tell us what's going on in precinct delegate land.
Well, there's a lot going on in precinct
Okay.
delegate land. We've been moving out with our meetings every month. We're looking ahead to our next meeting, hoping that the ballot proposals are going to be out, because we'd like to talk to the delegates about that.
Okay.
We think that if we get enough engagement, and we really need to get enough engagement, I'm referring to I don't know the formal name of it, but it's the Prove It.
Yep.
show your,
Must be a citizen to vote.
ID.
Yep.
Yeah, have to show your ID, must be a citizen to vote.
Mhm.
I think this is going to be a relatively easy, well, not, I shouldn't say easy, 60,000 signatures is never easy,
But it's not controversial amongst Republicans.
it's not.
No.
And I think it's not really even controversial among a lot of Democrats. I mean, or a chunk of Democrats
Right.
anyway. Let's put it that way.
It's
So-
not going to be like the abortion, like Prop 3 was.
Absolutely
Right,
not.
right. It's going to be much
Absolutely not.
easier to stomach for everybody. So, or at least on
Absolutely.
the other side. So,
So we're gonna talk about that, and again, I think the language is approved, and we should have the ballots in hand at that point, and just talk about different ways to how to do this, how to get this out. I mean, summer's coming, and there's a variety of different opportunities to get signatures. You don't necessarily have to have a booth someplace, but that's always an idea too.
sure.
But there's farmer markets every weekend. There's all kinds of festivals, summer festivals going on. So we're really excited about being able to help people get involved with that and promote that.
We have Brian Posthumus, Representative Posthumus, who's putting that together. He's coming to the podcast on June 3rd, FYI. So
Okay.
tune in on that day and you get to
Okay.
hear all about where to go, how to get it. That's exactly why he's coming here, to
Okay.
kind of let everybody know what they need to do. So maybe
Yeah.
pass the word on to your delegates.
The other thing that we're talking about, we're going to try to pull this together in July, is to put a panel together that would have like a commissioner, a supervisor, a trustee, and a planning commissioner.
Okay.
To help people understand, like when these roles come up, everybody thinks like, well, I can't do it, or I'm not smart enough, or I don't have enough time. That's not true. And I think that if you hear from the people who are actually serving in those capacities, I think you might have more people say, hey, I think I can do that, once they hear how it's actually done.
Sure.
Whether it's appointed or I have to run, but the time involved, what you're actually doing. I think the problem is a lot of people focus like, I think I want to be a House rep, or I want to be a senator. And they don't understand that down here, there's decisions being made at a local level that impact your life and the way your community is going to continue to grow or move or develop. And we need to start looking at those seats. And I think that maybe if we could explain, I remember Commissioner Nakagiri calling me for a couple things, and I'm going, oh gosh, I could never do that, or I'm not smart enough, but now that I'm actually in the role of a planning commissioner, it's not that hard. If you have to do the work to study what's going on, you have to ask questions, but they'll offer you training. So I'm hoping that maybe if people could really ask the questions, understand how it works, that more people will be willing to step up into these offices.
That's an excellent idea. And I will tell you something, I'd like to piggyback on that, because I put the classes on for how to run your campaign. But the first one is, what do you gotta know before you run a campaign? If I went off of that, first they would know what they need to do if they got elected. Then the next part would be, shovel them over to me, and now we'll get you elected. This will teach you how to run. But that's a good one. I know I have some, you probably heard us talking in here about, having 30 empty spots last year and putting on all those classes with 40 people, 45 people, 20 people, and we got those filled. But here's what I've run into since, and I'm not going to name names, but many of them got in there and they don't know what to do, and they're not sure. They got in saying, I'm going to do this Republican thing, I'm going to do this Republican thing, and now they're struggling, and they're not doing the Republican thing in many cases because they're not sure. So I think there needs to be that segue from, prior to my training on campaign. First, what do they do? Is this something I will be interested in? Is this something I can do?
Right.
Then, okay, I've decided I can. Now I'll take them. Let's do this. Then we need a next one is how do you how do you rule as a Republican once you're elected?
Mhm.
And I think that's a missing, both of those elements are missing. So I think that's a great idea. I'm really looking forward
Good.
to that.
Yeah. I mean, it's so important. I mean, it's local. I mean, these are
Mhm.
things that directly affect your everyday life.
Yeah, much faster than a senator or a U.S. congressman or whatever else.
Absolutely.
it's instant.
Absolutely.
So-
And
Yeah,
I'm
go ahead,
sorry.
Tom. No, go ahead.
I think if people know, okay, well, this is what's involved and this is this person's experience. Oh, I know Wes, or I know Tim. That's their experience. Yeah, I might be interested in that. And, it doesn't necessarily even have to be a trustee or a township supervisor or county commissioner. It could be, like Sharon said, planning commission.
Sure.
Where you're under the umbrella, but you're working on a specific committee, where that may only require a couple hours of your time once a month. So,
Right.
and those positions are very important too. So,
Agreed.
You know,
Agreed.
Going back to your the petition thing that we were talking about, I'll piggyback on you.
Okay.
On you.
Okay. All right.
Because I remember when Unlock Michigan was going, and
Right.
Wes had the Livingston County
Mhm.
for Trump office. And we were getting all kinds of
Oh,
people
yeah.
that were coming, and we didn't even know half these people, but they were getting the petitions and then bringing them back and give me more, and I'm coming back and I'm dropping them off. So we should probably work on like a central depository, like when people, like whether it's the EC meetings, they can come bring them in. A lot of people will do it, and then they're like, okay, now I did this, and what do I do with these petitions? So we could possibly
Okay.
work out like on like drop off dates or something. I think this thing's going to take off. I think this is an
Mhm.
excellent. Go ahead. Were you going to say something? What are you thinking?
I was thinking that what do they have to sign it in front of anybody, or they sign it and just hand it in? The petitions when you're done. You just
No,
have to sign it.
You just sign it.
You don't get it
yourself.
notarized or anything.
Oh,
I'm wondering if we,
You know what? Don't quote me on that.
I don't know. I don't think
I'm
they
trying
do,
to
but
remember.
let's just
I just think that
based
you have
on
to sign it.
based on
Right.
the
Somebody will answer that.
yes, based on the presumption that you don't have to sign that, or it doesn't have to be notarized. If I just like say I have a petition, I sign it. I wonder if we can't put a locked drop box out front, out back here, or slide it under the door.
Yeah, something that
We could slide it under the
that's-
door and pick them up and
right.
run them
Right.
into Lansing.
Because I'll tell you what, that built the excitement for
Mhm.
people to continue to go out when they kept seeing people come in like with 10 or 20
Sure,
pages and
sure.
getting more. You're like, okay, now if they're doing it, I can do it. And
Mhm.
like I said, these were all people that we didn't even know, but they felt that strong about the issue. And that's what I think is
Sure.
going to happen with this one. I don't see how I'm not calling this a Republic. I'm just calling this an American citizen
is.
petition
Absolutely.
thing. Honestly, nobody should have a problem with it at all.
Right.
So
Right. They shouldn't, but they will. The Democrats want
but
this.
it's
they
easy to
want
push
the-
back on this one. though,
I think so.
you
I think
know,
it will be. They're going to have they want the illegals to vote because they want their because then they become Democrat voters.
right.
So let's see. We have our good friend, our brand new friend, Mark Ashley Price from,
Mark!
do you know Mark?
No.
Okay.
Welcome, Mark.
We love you,
Welcome.
Mark, already. Yes. He's one of two Republicans in Wayne County. I'm joking. He's from Wayne County, and he says we're 200% correct. He won local office to 3 separate positions, twice by appointment, once by election. How on earth did you win a Republican spot, or was it nonpartisan that you won in Wayne County? Good. Hats off to you. So that's terrific. So yeah, we have we'll figure something out. We'll figure out a place to put it. We can probably put before I go here, I promise you, I'm going to be sliding an envelope under the door to see
We're
if
gonna
it'll
hold you
go.
to that.
That's that's not a problem. No, you
Right.
can bank
The
on
Deb
that.
test.
The We'll have, bam, it'll happen. Don't worry.
No,
So
and I guess the other thing I want to say to any precinct delegates out there is that, Connie and I don't call it a faction. I'm going to call this a movement. So we're Old Tea Party. You're not offended by that, Connie, are you? We are.
No.
But when we started this, it was always about information, giving you information.
Sure.
Not social media information, but information that was true. And that's and building relationships. I remember the first time that I was a poll challenger. If I did not have a friend that looked at me and said, "Oh gosh, do you want to do this?" I would never have done it, because the idea of doing something like that by yourself is pretty intimidating. But when you're sitting, on monthly meetings and you get to know people, then it's a lot easier to say, like, "Hey, do you want to try this?" I'm not a door knocker. Connie makes me be a door knocker, because it's easy to say, "Okay, we'll get breakfast, and okay, let's get in the car. I have no idea what I'm doing. Just point me where I need to go, and I'll do the doors." But having a friend do it with you just makes it so much easier. And
Makes it fun,
actually
too.
makes it fun.
Oh,
Yes, exactly,
absolutely.
100%.
Well, yeah, and that is one of the great benefits about the PD meetings, and it is building relationships and building friendships. And once you become friends, your friend, like Sharon said, your friend might want to do something that you would never do on your own, or you would not, that you're not really that interested.
Right.
But I really like her, so yeah, okay, I'll do it with you. And that's the way it works.
I mean, think about, all of us have been looped into something that we are roped into it that we've never done on our own at one
Absolutely.
time or another with our lives. Might as well learn to knock doors with.
Right. Well, we've been pretty, as far as we had the MIGOP chair, we had that forum when they were running.
Yep,
We had
I
a good
remember that.
turnout
That
of
was a great turnout.
and,
I remember it was wonderful.
And so it's always, all we want to do is provide information. A lot of times you hear stuff and it's a rumor or I heard. Well, you know what? Meet and greets are very important when it comes down to candidates.
Yes.
Anybody can do a really nice 5-minute speech, but when you actually see them in person and then you see how they interact with people after it's all over with, I think that tells a lot about the character of a candidate, as far as their comfort to go around and actually talk to people one-on-one.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like what we've been trying to do. Just make it comfortable, easy, fun. We just did one the other night and just told people, come on down. It said friend and family gathering. We put our feet up and we just all said, we talked about what was going on. Sometimes you have to let people express what their concerns are or what their
Absolutely.
interests are. It's not just always coming and sitting in a chair.
Sure, it's
And I
not.
think
It's not our show. It's for them.
It's relation.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
relational. Yep.
Yes, and relations have to both ways on the arrow. So
Right.
if it's not, so what so that's a topic coming. Anything else, or what's a challenge right now for you?
Getting the word out about the meetings and getting people to understand. Like, I don't know how many delegate trainings you can actually have. I mean, to the importance of, once you become a delegate, it's not just going to 2 conventions. You can really impact and help the party and the candidates by getting more engaged.
Sure.
And so that's, I guess, I don't
the
know
word
how,
out.
I don't know how we get more people to, there's a lot of delegates out there. I don't know what they were told or
Yes, you
I
do.
want them to come in. I want them to
We all know what they were told.
Yeah.
Okay.
well,
You sign here and you just show up at 2 conventions.
Yeah, I know.
I'll give
I
you a
know.
sheet
I
on
hate
who to
that.
vote for.
And
I do
hate that.
too.
And I
Yeah.
hate that. There's so much more.
It is.
Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
mean, totally so much more. I mean, the delegates are somewhat not, they really are the backbone.
They are.
They are the
Mhm.
backbone. Now it takes the leadership and the chairs and the election committee members to find the candidates, recruit them. It takes the outreach to get, raise the funds, but it takes the delegates to be boots on the ground. It takes them to do the word of mouth, to make the phone calls, to meet with their neighbors, to do meet and greets. So we'd really, I think our biggest challenge is boosting attendance. And I think once people come and see what we're doing, then they do tend to come back, but it's getting new people there.
Well, Deb, you have to agree. 2026 is
It's
Michigan
monstrous. It's
Michigan
monstrous.
focused.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need precinct delegates.
Yep.
We need them now. I mean, our candidates are already out there. Things are already, it's not coming, it's happening now. So I just hope that we'll see more and more people become engaged earlier than later. So.
Well, and I guess I want it said for anybody that watches this now, and then the apparently thousands that watch it in the next coming 2-3 weeks. I want it really clear that if you are a delegate, but you absolutely cannot, the thought of knocking doors or making calls just terrifies you to the point where you don't want to sign up. No, don't. Nobody's going to push you into doing something you don't want to do. I promise you there's going to be plenty of opportunities for you to do things that you are comfortable doing. Like, Sharon said she never knocked doors and went with Connie. Okay, now they have fun doing it. That's fine if that's the way it works out. There are lots of other ways. There are ways you can do things in the background. There are ways you could, but the best thing you can do as a delegate is come and get educated. Just learn. It's fun. It's informative. It's interesting. You meet all kinds of new people that think like you, that you can have a conversation with and not have to worry about.
Hey, I was a bag lady.
Yeah.
I threw stuff in the bag.
That's right. Yeah.
Or
That's
I'll tell
right.
you what, the postcard thing, I thought, what does that mean, writing postcards? But that was so fun to write those
Yep.
postcards
Sure.
for Trump.
Sure.
Very fun.
They do that. They do that here in groups. They get,
Yeah.
they have pizza
Right.
here and they have pop and stuff, and everybody sits and talks and laughs and writes your postcards and everything else. So, but there are lots and lots of different ways you could get involved. So just because you don't like to knock doors, don't let that stop you from being a precinct delegate. When do they start signing up for precinct delegate elections? Do you have any, probably, would it be next year? Or could they sign up this year?
Okay, is this a test? Connie,
Yeah.
take it, Connie. Take it,
I-
Connie.
All right, who's watching out there? Come on,
Come
somebody.
on, someone's gonna answer.
I think it's next year.
Probably. I just wonder
Yeah.
when. I just wonder. I'm just curious as to when precinct delegates at the earliest can begin to sign up or fill out their applications, and then. I know sometimes here they hold them, and then when the doors open or when the window opens, they can go turn them all in at once. I think Joe Farkas used to do that. Matter of fact, he scared the daylights out of me. I
No.
signed my I gave it to Ron Gillard, and then I looked a month or 6 weeks later, and it wasn't on the ballot, and I called Ron, what's going on here? Where's my?
Yeah.
Well, Joe takes them all in at once. Okay,
Well,
and that's okay, but I just
let's
didn't
talk
know.
about that for a minute, because when you hold it though, and you are checking it, and you're not seeing that there's a lot
Yep.
of people, you're going to
Right.
run and sign up,
That's
and all of a sudden
right.
you're running against
You're-
your
now
friend
you're
because
right,
somebody's holding
right.
That's
them.
exactly
Yeah.
right.
So
And that's what I ended up calling Joe, and he was great about it. I just told him, look, this is my issue here, and that is I am trying to fill slots. I am finding candidates to fill the empty slots, and I'm finding candidates to fill the delegate slots, and I don't know how many there are because you got a stack of stuff. So he promised me the
Absolutely.
next day he would take them in. He did. Okay. Then I knew once, and 2 days later I could look and see exactly who I needed and where. So that became, but yeah, he understood. He was at the time though, he was the only one doing it. So
Yeah,
it didn't matter.
yeah.
So yeah,
That is important though,
It is.
because Sharon's absolutely right. You think, oh, okay, we've got all these open seats. Well, no, we don't. It happened to me. So I'm on the phone trying to recruit because, I've got open seats in my precinct.
right.
And then I end up having to, oh, okay.
Knock doors for yourself.
Exactly right. Because we've got more people running than we have seats. So
That's right. And that's, it's sort of like, it takes me back to the 50th district last year. We had 4 candidates for 1 seat, and then other seats with no candidates. And I just, that was 2 years I never want to live through again in my life. So, and I don't want to do that even with delegates. So it's just, to me, it's a waste of, when we've got so much with so many other different places that people can go. So anyway, so we got some great delegate stuff. Anybody even thinking about becoming a delegate? Is there, I'll forward it. Email me at chair@livingstonrepublicans.com. And Tyler will put it up on the screen for you here. So chair@livingstonrepublicans with an s.com. Just put in there that you're thinking about becoming a delegate, and where's the meetings and whatever. They generally have them the 3rd Thursday of the month. I don't think they're gonna. From what I heard, that you're not having one in June. Is that correct?
You know what? There's so much going on in June.
Okay.
And really, I'm going to promote Spencer's Euchre party
Mhm.
because, and you know what? It's summer now, and it's getting
That's
a
right.
little bit busy. So we thought we'd skip this
Sure.
month and then we're picking back up in July.
Okay.
But I would say this to anybody, if there's a meeting that we're doing that you find of interest, you don't have to be a precinct delegate to come.
Good.
Everybody's welcome.
Good.
Everybody's
Good.
welcome. And if you're not a precinct delegate, then you could come and say, well, these people are kind of cool and I like what they're doing and I'm going to sign up to be a precinct delegate.
Who doesn't like us? Come on.
Come on, that's what I say.
We're fun.
So yeah, no, it's open for anybody who wants to come. It's all about building the
Okay.
party. Yep. Precinct delegates, or even if you're not, we can use you.
Sure, come on in, and
Yeah,
you
right.
don't have to be. Just come on into the. And I want to make that, as long as we're saying that, let's talk about the monthly Republican meetings.
Yeah.
We have monthly Republican meetings at Remax in between Brighton and Howell there, starting at 7 o'clock. They begin from 7 to 7:30. We do our voting business, get that out of the way, and the rest is just informative and interesting and fun and funny, and we get legislative updates. But if you're a Republican, you can come. You don't have to belong to the party. You don't have to be a delegate. You don't have to. We're going to own you before too long anyway. No. But you'll want to join because we have a blast.
Yes,
we laugh.
we do.
What we do here. This is not restricted to
No,
the
honestly,
podcast.
isn't that
It
a good
is.
thing?
It is.
It's a good thing that we say we're going to take a break in June because there's so much stuff going on.
I know.
So
Well, we have our first meeting, and June is membership month here at the old at the ranch here at LCRP. So we are we're having our bring a member to a meeting on June 7th. We have do you believe Michelle Blondell challenged me in a flapjack contest, a pancake
I
contest?
heard all about
We're
it.
throwing down here, so bring it on there, Heartland girl. So we're gonna talk a little
She's
smack.
pretty tough.
She is. I know. She got me a little nervous. So so anyway, we're gonna have we have a sign up sheet. You can go to our let's see, I have my little thing here. I will add that to the stage there. There we go. You come here and you can vote for pancakes. It doesn't really, before I do this next week, I've got to darken that top stuff there. So, but anyway, bring a side dish to pass and bring a conservative friend with you. So we got that.
But don't bring pancakes.
Don't bring pancakes. No, because I'm
these
sorry.
guys are in a
You're gonna be, it's gonna be embarrassing in front of God and everybody there that weekend. Anyway, so I know, listen to me talk smack. So that's part of the fun of a contest. So anyway,
Right.
we're gonna usually Michelle's on this podcast. I was half expecting her to
I
throw
said,
it back
Michelle, don't
at
turn
me.
your back. That's gonna throw like salt in your batter or something like
Yeah.
that. You know.
So let's have a little salt with your thing here. So anyway, we have that going on. That's on the 7th. That's a Saturday morning, about 9 o'clock. And we have, we have our youth group is having their first euchre
on
Yes,
June
yeah.
12th, I think.
June
is where it
12th,
is.
right
Yep.
here at the Livingston County,
Yep.
on the second Thursday of the month. He's having right here at the thing. He's
You're
going
going to hear Trump's name a lot.
That's
Trump,
right.
Trump,
Yeah.
Trump,
Yeah.
Trump.
Oh, yeah.
What's Trump?
That's
Our
right. What's
president.
Trump? That's right. I didn't even think about that. That's pretty cool. So we have that coming, and he's going to be Spencer Good as our youth chair, our youth vice chair, and he's going to be here with the state youth chair, Krish. They're going to be here on June 10th at the podcast 2 days before. They're going to talk about that.
Good.
Yeah, they're excited because they're following Mike Rogers on the show. So I told them they're going to get some good attendance that day. So we're going to get some good plugs. Also, brand spanking new is our come on, you want to have a good time? Let's go dance. We've got some MSU competitive dancers going to teach all those people with 2 left feet. They're going to teach us the swing, the tango, and the waltz. And that's going to be at the American Legion, and it's going to be a blast. That's on June 18th, Wednesday, June 18th at 6:30. We're going to go early, have dinner, and we're invited. Matter of fact, I've invited the American Legion that, if they want to have their people, if they want to have some of their members come up and join us, that's more than welcome. But that is I had the same group come in Florida, teach when I was on the board of the Condo Association. We put on a class. We had 30 couples, and did we laugh? Oh my gosh! So even if you have no partner, if you have 15 left feet, that doesn't matter. We're gonna have a good time. So this is not gonna be a judge. This is not Dancing with the Stars. This is probably
Not a competition.
no. It's gonna be Dancing with the clumsy. I guess.
There you go.
I don't know. But anyway, dancing with the people. I don't know, but it's going to be fun. Anyway, so yes, we do have a lot going on. So I understand that.
Mhm.
And the fourth Thursday, just so I say it, is going to be back here at the Victory Center. We're going to have a bring a member to dinner. And that's going to be I'm going to grill some dogs out here and everybody bring a dish to pass. And it's going to be, again, an opportunity for the, the delegates, the neighbors, the church people that, that. So start thinking about, everybody watching, start thinking about,
Politics can be fun.
yes, it can.
Yeah.
It's just, it's the attitude, we have a firm attitude. I've said it before. You've heard me, what everybody's got a seat at the table, leave your drama at the door. And it just works. It just, when we leave our drama at the door, we have a good time. So, but everybody knows that conservative, that friend, that neighbor, that they just don't come to the party. They don't know. This is what one of these events or more, bring them all of them. That's fine. Bring them to these events. They're going to have a good time. So,
Yeah, you're right, because it is fun and you do make friends. And because if you're not having a good time, chances are you're not going to do something for very long.
that's right.
And we've been at this for a long time.
Yes.
All of us.
Mhm.
So,
We have, and we keep coming back because we enjoy it.
yeah.
And it's funny because I think all of us at one time or another have kind of drifted away and then
Yeah.
come back. Why did we
Yeah.
drift away? Why did we drift away? We stopped having fun. We started,
Yeah.
the drama, anytime that, and I'll tell you something, I'm an adamant, no drama person. So, as long as I'm here, the drama is going to be away. I will
Right.
chase that away with a broom.
Right.
I'll hex it. Get my little
Get your
pentagram.
voodoo
Yeah,
dolls
get my
out.
voodoo dolls. Yes. Drama shield. But no, what's that? I saw a meme with Sheldon spray, Sheldon from Big Bang Theory spraying. He's like, this is my drama killer. Drama spray, anti-drama spray.
It could
Okay.
be a good fundraiser.
I like that.
Well, thank
We
you,
should make
Mark.
it like that.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark. Mark says we're doing an amazing job up here. Yeah, this is just how we are. This is not us. An hour from now, 2 hours from now, 2 days from now. This is
Same
exactly
thing.
how we'll be. So we have some good people here in Livingston County. It's good to know one person from Wayne County Republicans. He says there are more, but I don't know. I think he's got a brother.
I have
maybe.
some
I don't
friends out in
know.
Wayne County.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. He
Yep.
says he's in
Well,
Highland.
Wayne County's my old stomping ground
Ah,
before I moved up
okay.
to Livingston.
He says he's the first vice chair of Wayne County Republican Committee, besides his involvement in Highland Park. And here he was talking about gave us his resume here. Oh my God, you didn't say there'd be a tome up here. We got his,
Wow.
it was Highland Park, nonpartisan, barely appointed to fill a vacancy. And he helped bring term limits to city officials. Good for you. I don't think I've ever heard of term limits in city officials. That's interesting. Okay, so you ran out of space. There was so much there. The rest of it,
Lot to cover.
he
Go for it.
dotted down here. You
Go
see
for it.
that? You ran
Yeah.
out. All right. Well, this was great. I'm really happy to have you guys with us here. Anything else you want to kind of let us know about the delegates and what we ought to know? And
No, anything, Connie?
The only other thing that I can think of coming up, we're thinking about before the candidates who have declared already get too busy, which won't be before too long. We are going to try to have some of the candidates come to our meetings and talk to the delegates.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. Well, Randy, we're looking forward to seeing you too. That's great. Make sure you come up and find us. Tell us you watched us. So what candidates you think you got anybody going, or you just waiting for them to finish filing?
We're sitting on it for just
Okay,
a
all right,
little bit.
okay.
Don't you kind of, I mean, it's not, there's still some rumors and there's still some people.
Oh,
out
those
there,
people.
and
Oh,
you're
those
try- you're-
people.
We're trying to
Right.
waiting,
Yeah.
you're
Right.
kind of waiting to
Yeah,
see.
and
who's all
I've
gonna
got-
finally
yeah.
declare,
I
you
have
know?
got verbal commitment. I've got my Quadro scheduled for the 10th. I've got Brian Posthumus coming for his ballot. I spoke with Eric Nesbitt, and he promised he would come on. I've also, for you candidates, or for you people working for candidates, statewide candidates, go get this back to them. The deal is this: they come here on our podcast, and then from the time they're on the podcast, from 30 to 90 days, wherever they're happy, we're going to bring them back out for a meet and greet. So let's get you introduced on a podcast, and we'll bring you back out for a meet and greet here at the thing. And so you'll get to, I think that's a great deal, because you get, introduced here, and then people that have further comments can come meet you. And we're happy to do that with everybody. Eric Nesbitt said he was going to do that. Mike Cox said he was going to do that. So I think Jessica's pass that on to John James people. So we're happy to have you. We're happy to introduce.
What did you say your views are getting? Your views are going up on the podcast,
we had one of our more recent one top the 5,000 mark already. So for something that's been in existence for 90 days, I would have been happy with 200 people. I would have thought that was great. So we've got it on different places. Got on YouTube and on the right, and then Rob's got it on his channels, and we're going to also put it on the on our news. Did you see our newspaper? I didn't show you.
Well, we saw, we didn't get a chance.
Yeah, we have a Right Side News now, and it's going to. There's a tab for the podcast, so every podcast now goes onto that. So, interestingly enough, I don't know if Russ, if you're watching or not, but Chair from Jackson County told me today, said he watches our podcast, loves it, and they're going to put the link to their website because it's.
Can you explain a little bit about what the news portion, like how is that going to be set up?
The news, it's going to be like an online news. It's going to have, here, let me show you.
So, because are you going to bring it up and do commentary, or just here's the news and people?
Well, it's going to be more. Oh, I did it again. Okay, let me get it. Let me get it up here. All right. Go ahead. Start typing. Wait. Was that it?
You're supposed
That's
to
it, yeah.
Conservative News.
Okay, so let me pull it out. Okay, so I have to make a new thing. Yes. All right, go back. Go back and then go here, right there. Window? No. This. Then just hit share.
Yep.
Okay, now that's big. I don't want it big.
We want it big, but maybe not on the screen right now.
No, I don't want that. Hit escape.
Lower the screen.
Lower the screen. Okay, let's try it again.
Move to the stage on there.
Right here. Oh, yeah. See, what would I do without Tyler? He's so good at this stuff. All right. So then I got to bring it in order to, and I got to shrink this, and then I can, let's do this. Here, ready? Here. Oop. Maybe not. Okay. So let's get it over here. So I don't know how to get to it. So I can scroll it from here, but you can see. So like what doesn't show is up here. There's 3 tabs up here, and the tabs up here say, articles, home articles, Right Side podcast, and campaigns and candidates.
Okay.
So it's got 4 things right now, but right now you can see like Explorer Stories. So the article here is Drick dismisses Daubenmire with $2.56. Bang. Like that one. That's a good one. But that's all about how they screwed up Jay's story. How he, So that's there. Why it all went red is an opinion by me, and it's basically, everything I've seen and why the reality of why all those, why we won all that stuff, and that's okay with me. And then here's another one that says, "What is a conservative?" Actually, Senator Tice told me to start with that. And so I, just define a conservative. And so it's just going to be stuff like that. And then, like I said, I also going to have, I have legislators that are going to be putting Tom Barrett, Tom Guy said he's going to send me a thing. So I'd like to have like Tom Barrett the first Monday, and, Senator Tice the second Monday, and, Representative Bolin the third. I have to talk to her. I'll probably see her Thursday. I've spoken to, Representative Wolford. He's on board. So, get these legislative updates from them once a week, and then news as I see it, as I see it. But really what I want to do is I want to get other people contributing. So as you guys want to go, want to say something about delegates, either to invite them or to, talk about what you're doing or what you've done. I'll write, when Brian Postumus is here, I will kind of summarize that article, and I'll write an article and I'll put it on there like the next day. So that's the kind of stuff we're going to do. We're going to go back and forth. Okay, here we go. Looking for myself and Rep. Tom Coonsey on Russ Jennings' podcast soon to promote my thoughts on changing the way millets are voted on. Aha. Oh, fine. Go to his. Don't come to me and say you want to do it. I get it. All right, fine. But yes, Russ is a good guy. We introduced ourselves today. So he what do we got here? Oh, look up DCrew.org for our Freedom Friday event in July with Congressman Brian Mast of Florida. Okay, I will look that up. See what that is. You'll talk there too. Okay, all right, good. So anyway, we have some real good stuff coming between their stuff, and so we'll put that on their news. And so now anyway, that's what our news is going to be. It's going to be all that stuff. So you guys want to write something up? Anybody wants to write up their thoughts about something Republican, or if something happened, it doesn't have to. I don't want to be the only writer any more than I want to be the only person talking up here. So, let's get some other people writing their thoughts. I know Ron Gillard likes to write. Ron, write me an article. Write me your thoughts about something. You have great thoughts. I like to read your stuff on Facebook. Write an article for me. I know you're listening. So, okay. Anyway, I know. And that's why I was elbowing it a little while ago. Just write your thoughts down. I'd love to, as long as you're up there in Lansing, I'd love to have the chairman write something up. Something he said tonight might be a great thing to say. I want to reiterate what I said. I want volunteers to do, that list he's talking about. Give me the list. I'll put it on the news.
That's the chairman unfiltered. I can only say he just says
I know,
exactly how he
I
feels,
know.
and I love that. And I hope other people
I
pick
do
up
too.
on it. That's
I have come to appreciate that. The first time I met him, he wasn't like that. He was very restricted and very, very, just very different than I have come to know him to be. And I remember tilting my head thinking, I'm going to have to look into him a little bit more. But then I saw him at your delegate meeting and the delegate forum there. And I was impressed.
I think that the way that politics has happened, when you feel passionate about things or when you're concerned about things, you're forced now to say it because things are so crazy.
Right.
You can't be silent anymore because you look at stuff and think, is this really true? Because it's so off the wall. And so we have to start speaking up. We have to start saying, hey, I have concerns about this, or not happy about this, or you've got to be kidding me.
Right.
Because if we don't start pointing out what is insane, then people take that as sane. They think that the majority of people
That's
are
right.
accepting that.
Yeah.
We're not accepting that.
The time for being guarded is past.
No, 100%. And so I think that that's a lot of people that might have been a little more withdrawn or a little more contained, a little more reserved, are finally saying, I can't be quiet anymore. So.
And that was
it's working for us.
Right.
Excuse me.
It's okay. It is working. That's why I programmed this podcast this way. That's why I created that news. I am sick and darn tired of the news only printing pieces of the Republican side to make it look like it was something else. After 3 articles, I saw 3 articles come out about Jay, about how he was, got a violation and he was fined and it's on his record. No. Go to the Right Side News and read what really happened. And that's, to me, that's what the purpose of the podcast. That's the purpose of the Right Side News. It's to give the whole story including the Republican bits of it.
Well, remember when Nick Fiani was talking about what happened with the courts, the lawsuit,
Sure.
and I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow, everybody should know that.
That's
Everybody
right.
should be aware of what the dialogue and what went on there and what the end result was.
That was amazing.
That was.
You know what? I might work with Nick to get this down on that story down on paper. There's a lot of stories.
Yeah.
The other one is with Nick. Oh, do you remember the story, the story? It was either a story or commentary. I think it was on the Livingston Post about Judy Daubenmire, how he screamed at Judy Daubenmire.
I do remember that.
That is just the biggest piece of nonsense I've ever heard in my life. Can you imagine Nick Fiani screaming at anybody?
No.
The man can be madder than anything, and he'll smile at you while he calls you a jerk, but he will not scream at you. But and basically it was a whole different story. So at some point I might call this the archived rest of the story or something. Remember those stories when they said this? Well, here's the real story. Just kind of some old stuff,
Well, I think too, even
old news.
Even taking down some of the stuff the WHMI puts out,
Mm-hmm.
and then they leave out.
Yeah.
Even to take an article and say, hey, I was there that night, and this is what
That's right.
actually,
That-
this
that's
is
a
something
great
that was
idea.
left out that would have made
Yes.
the whole
Sure.
meeting a little bit.
Changes the whole story.
Yes, and now that I have the news, I'll
Absolutely.
do that there, but we did do that here. I had Wes on right after that whole nonsense up at the theater. I got on the phone with Wes right away. Wes, why don't you come down here and why don't you talk about that night? Because I want the real story out. And he explained to everybody what really happened down there. You know, you have that Jeffrey Amell that's now running for city council. Oh my God, somebody help me. He was, he was trash talking. Well, Wes tried to bully his way in,
Yeah.
and he was yelling at people. And
And
I
we
thought
all
to
know
myself,
Wes. We
I
all
know.
know
I
Wes.
said that's why I told Wes. I
Yeah.
said if they're going to accuse you
Of
of
all
something,
people.
make it something that's plausible. I mean, that's
Yeah.
about as I have seen Wes be screamed at by people. As the Democrats insulted, and he just never loses his cool. He just,
Never.
But and that's what I do appreciate you when you were offering that class about how to talk, how to write.
oh, the communication. Mhm.
Because we have so much common sense in our party on the stuff that we're
Mhm.
looking at. That if you call somebody a name, you lose the argument right there.
That's right.
It's always better to ask a question, present the common sense side of it.
Yep.
Just like we're going to do with this petition coming up.
Yep.
Do you not agree? So that's a thing that I think that we have on our side. It is a common sense argument.
It is.
Just like when you guys were talking about that book, the stuff that's going on in the schools and stuff. That's just unreal that parents
public
would think
library.
that that's okay, 100%.
And he nailed the book. He said, I saw that was the book that I was talking about when I put
And he's right, horrifying.
Oh, it was
I just-
horrifying.
horrifying.
Absolutely.
And I have heard excerpts from that read at the library
Mhm.
board meeting and at the Heartland school board meeting, and people are just so it's like can't hardly wait till the person gets done reading. Well, and this is
Okay.
a room full of adults.
Type in genderqueer.
She's going to
oh,
do
no.
it.
I'm going to do it. Why not? I don't have this is a
Okay.
public, that'd be 2 words. So he's going to look this up.
Okay.
Hang on here.
Because I mean, people were squirming in their seats, but yet it's okay for our kids.
Hold on. Let's do this. Wait, let's do this. Yeah, did you put in book? Well,
The
that's one
book.
word
Yeah.
and
The book, Jen.
huh?
There's one little image right there.
Well, I want to get the thing. So go ahead and separate that and then put the book in there. There it goes, right there. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see. Hold on. Do they have it in here?
Probably not.
They-
They're
I
gonna
know,
make
I've seen it. I pulled it
know,
up there.
But they're going to make you search it because they don't want to.
Yeah, I mean the I don't know if that's what it is or not. No, that's the snake. I mean the stuff on this is,
Just
how
disgusting. It's
the
really
girl that wanted to be a boy and imagine she had a penis and what she was doing with it and how she.
We'll see. You're already building the next.
Oh, yeah.
Next podcast.
Mhm.
But hey,
Yeah.
the last podcast we talked. Well, I want to show you this because most people would have a hard time really believing the stuff that you and the chairman were
Absolutely.
saying
Oh
could
yeah.
actually be true.
Aha. Let's see. I'm trying to find I know they have it online because I pulled it out before, but the pictures, they're cartoons. And I think that's what the chairman said. They're legal as long as they're cartoons. But I mean, talking to his sister about, well, it's a she and it's a she that thinks she's a boy. And anyway, yeah, I can't find it. We will have a future. We will absolutely have a future. Be careful what you're typing in. Okay. Yes, you're right. But it's pretty graphic. I do have here, I'm going to do this. Hand me my phone right there. Tyler, I'm going to send this to my email. Do you have my email on there? No.
I don't have it open.
All right, I type in, wait, let's see. Right there. Is it Office? I want to Outlook. No, Is this Outlook? Right there. That's what I want. Okay. I'm going to send an image to myself. Just hang on here. I'm going to send an image to myself. Then I'll bring it up and I will show you exactly what it was. And it is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So hold on just a minute.
Well, and like the chairman was talking earlier, it's the horribly sad component to this is that instead of these kids going into doctor's offices and getting to the root of what the problem really is, they put it onto the gender stuff. And so many kids are just being misdiagnosed and suffer the consequences for years, sometimes for the rest of their life, depending on what kind of drastic measures they've chosen to take. It's really sick.
Yeah, it's let me pull here. I'll get it here in just a second.
So Tyler, the people at home, is this what they're seeing?
No, they're just seeing them. I gotta pull up my phone. They're just seeing the three of you.
Oh. Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, then still look professional.
Yep, yeah, yep. No sneezing or scratching. There we go. All right, I'm sending this right now to my own self. Gmail to. Okay, you are not going to believe this. You guys thought I was making it up. Okay, so this is going to come to me here in a second, and then I'm going to bring it up, and you're not going to believe it. There we go. Save images. Yep. We'll just do that. Save. Okay. You ready? Okay, here we go. I'll bring it up. I brought it up one other time. So let's go here. It was a long goopy. There it is right now. Thumbnail. Okay, ready?
We think.
These are two different places. One came from a book that came from the library that any kid could read. The other one was from Penthouse, the Penthouse Forum. The Penthouse one was from behind a Karen showing us funky faces over there. I can't see. The top one, actually, the worst of them was the library book. The top one was the Penthouse Forum. Now, Penthouse, mind you, is held behind the counter. It is labeled as porn. You have to show ID to get it. You can't just walk up and take a look at it. You got to be able to show ID to even to touch one of those things. The other one has, and this one right here, this bottom one, it comes from this one the chairman was talking about. They have cartoon demonstrations, like comic demonstrations to go along with this. And I do mean graphic demonstrations, not little cloudy things where they figure it out. So anyway, anybody thinks that libraries aren't corrupted or libraries don't need Republicans, that's what your kids are seeing.
That's right.
You know, and we were talking here, I was talking with Wes and Alex Yarber, and I said, you know, the funny thing is libraries is where you used to send your kids, you know, to, because it was safe. You know, they wanted to go hang out uptown.
The principal would say, yeah, I'd go to the library.
I know. It'd be like, you know, can I go uptown now? No. Can I go to the park and hang out? No. Can I go to the library? Sure. You know, now it'd be the worst thing you could do. So, yeah. So, yeah, Karen, Karen, that describes my thoughts too. All kidding aside, it is child abuse. It's child porn. It's that's the word, grooming. And I had a whole litany of Democrat former library trustees just go at me. Not so much here, but they did. But on Facebook, they were going at me. And I finally just told them, show that to your grandkids. If you can show that to your grandkids, we won't talk about it anymore. Of course, I got silence after that. So, yeah, it's pretty bad. It is absolutely bad.
The flip side is, didn't they say to kill Mockingbird? Were they talking about pulling that out of the library? I mean, there's the books that they said they were pulling out.
I know, but this one's
trying
in.
to figure it out.
It's like, there was a comic, and I don't know the guy's name, but it was, he was, a few years ago, he did a skit about how the craziness is about exactly like that the song that had to go at Christmas time was something that's been around since the 40s called Baby It's Cold Outside, but that the year that they demanded it go away because it was whatever, the number one song in the country was, I don't know who sang it, was Wet Ass P.
Wow. Wow. I know.
Yes,
I know.
it was
I
Wet Ass
know.
P Word, the female stuff. That was the name of it. And if you look at, and this guy was saying, so let's compare lines, shall we? And he's saying, and he read a couple of lines from Baby It's Cold Outside, I really got to go, baby, it's cold outside. I really should go home, baby, it's cold outside. The next one is expletive, descriptive, whatever. I thought this was a family-friendly show. That's your family. You listen, mister. That happens to be that's your public library's got that.
We're defending families.
We're defending families. That's right, Spencer.
Right.
But anyway,
so let people know that what we're saying is truth. I mean, because people would watch that and think, "Oh, you guys are just making that up." No, it is. It's true.
Look at that. Yeah. I urge you to go on YouTube and watch that. It's a comedian, but at the same time, it's not funny because he's talking and just Wet Ass P Word versus Baby It's Cold Outside comedian, and you're gonna find it, and it is very funny. I mean, but it's funny tragic. At the same time. It's tragic because the lyrics in Wet Ass, is everything that reads that preempts and then follows the wet ass happening is very descriptive. Where baby, it's cold outside.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
I know
because I heard the controversy. I went online, I looked at it, and those lyrics came up, and I'm like, I mean, I really, it was just, I've never seen anything more vile that's just on the air. I think they were playing it on the radio.
Oh yeah, it was the number one song, number one.
My gosh.
That would mean like millions, millions. Millions. I just love that song, and it's you're right. I was horrified watching it. It's like when you're old.
Yeah,
and I thought to myself,
because you only listen to country music.
Yeah,
that's me.
I remember my dad telling me, I want to listen to that rat horrible music that you listen to. Okay, but they didn't have lyrics like that. I remember I was when I was 14. I had the Aerosmith album Toys in the Attic. And of course, the Beast on the very last song on the second side was, I think that's how it went. One of the songs was called Big 10 Inch. And Big 10 Inch was about a record. It was the 10-inch record versus, you remember the little 45s? The 10-inch record.
Out of control.
No, we're not spiraling here. And but it was the song was called Big 10 Inch by Aerosmith. And it was about a record, but he was, but like the end of the lyric would be something my big 10-inch record of my band that plays the blues, so but it was like one of those kind of like My Ding-a-ling, or Squeeze Box. It just was kind of the implication. But I remember my grandma hearing that and taking that record, cracking it. Like, oh, that's my new album. You're not listening to that garbage. I said, it's a record. Oh, I don't care. I thought, I loved my grandma till that moment. I was mad at her. I was very close to her, but I thought, I'm not bringing my records here anymore. That's for sure. But anyway, yeah. So, and that was like I said, that was like My Ding-a-ling, it was like very, very like the implication, but yeah.
Innuendo, and it's big innuendo, but today
it's
just,
and they just lay it right out there.
Gosh,
with a picture or a cartoon if it's for kids. So yeah, it's bad stuff. So anyway, so this is, and you thought that we just went off in a no. Watch how good we are. We're coming right back. This is why we need delegates. You like how I did that? No, that's why we need delegates, because the delegates help us fight that stuff. Whether it's knocking doors, whether it's serving drinks while we're knocking doors, or not drinks, but water, whether it's helping us put signs together, having a sign party here, whether it's stuffing lip bags. We have nice parties here.
Yep.
So, Anyway, so that was, that's just the reasons. These are reasons we fight this stuff. I can't wait. I'm half tempted to bring it out, but I'm not gonna. We have a Why Join video. I finally finished it, and it's going to get debuted at the Lincoln Day. So if you're not going to be there, you're missing out. It is it was so good. I showed Jay. He offered to take me to Qdoba. He hates Qdoba. He was so impressed with this video. He's like, all right, that's it. Let's celebrate. I'll take you to Qdoba.
Awesome.
Who are you? But yes, this is why we need you to join. This is why we need you to join. Okay, let me get my little banner out here. So this is why we need you to join the party, because right down here, see it right there. Yeah, do what you can do. You don't have to knock doors. There's lots and lots and lots of stuff we have. Okay, so we have Karen over here. She brought her brother Rolling Stone's Sticky Fingers album for a Christmas present one year because she liked Wild Horses. I had no idea what that title meant. Whoops. Well, don't wreck my childhood. I don't know what it means. I don't know if I want to now. Thank you very much. Now you know I'm going to go home and figure this out. Thank you for wrecking my whole childhood. I love Rolling Stones. No, I will tell you a true Rolling Stone story in that sort of vein. Many know I've sung in bands for 100 years. Don't read it. Yeah, like I could stop myself. I've sung in bands for years, and I've always enjoyed it. And there's certain songs you go on autopilot. You've sung so many times you don't think about it. Give Me 3 Steps, Margaritaville. There's all these standards, classics that you don't even think about what you're. One of them, I was playing in Lansing, and we started playing. We had like a little Stones medley. We did "Gimme Shelter," and we did another one, and then we finished with "Brown Sugar." And as we're singing, and now I have been singing these songs for years. I don't think about it. I just know my parts. I do harmony on all those things. And we're breaking to "Brown Sugar," all of a sudden there were two African-American couples that got up and walked out right in the middle of the restaurant. And then for the first time after singing that thing for 25 years, I listened to the words. I really listened to them and went, I could not believe that I had been singing that all the time. Never, because it was such a popular song. It was on the radio all the time.
Nick led you astray.
Yes, he did. Just that one time. "Give Me Shelter" was fine. I can hit those real high notes that lady does. So, anyway, at that point, I stopped. I said, no more. We're not doing that song anymore. And to this day, I haven't sung that since, or been in a band that have sung that. But I never listened. So anyway, I understand that you don't really think about it. Then you figure out what they really meant later, and you go, oh. Whoops.
That's why I stick with country. You never have to wonder. You always know what they're talking
about. Oh no, I know. There's always the same. It's always the same 5 things. Somebody died, the truck died, the car died, the dog died. Yeah. What is the joke that if you play a country song backwards, the dog comes back to life, your truck starts? Yeah. So, but I'll tell you, country songs are fun. I love them more. I don't like the old stuff, but I like the stuff in the last 20 years. So country. Yep. I love that a lot. So anyway, all right. Well, we've burned that topic out. Become a member. Come down here. Be a member of the party. Be a member of the be a member. Next week will be the debut of the big commercial that we're gonna Rep Wolford is going to debut. He's going to do a membership ask at the dinner, and he's going to play the video for us. And it took me 6 weeks to make this video because it's in pieces. You'll see it, but it came out really, really good. So, good. All right, let's see. Awesome. Mark, our new friend in Wayne County, says you could see why Trump won Michigan twice. You ladies being so much fun are part of the reason. You got it, buddy. So you come on down here, Mark, and you can sit on a podcast, and we'll pick on you in person just as well. So if I could tell the chairman, if I can pick on the chairman's list, would you do that again? You're talking that list. Wait. Would you do that again? I want to hear that again. So if I can do that, I'm going to get you. So, all right. So, Mark, you should come to our dinner. Buy tickets. Go on our LivingstonRepublicans.com. Buy tickets Thursday to our dinner. And you too can see our commercial as it debuts. It's awesome. Anyway, all right. Well, thanks a lot, ladies, for coming. I appreciate you coming here. It's been awesome. it is, we're gonna, we'll have you back again. Keep us informed on the delegates and
Delegate
and what the
power.
delegate power. That's right. All right. See you guys. I'll be back in a few minutes.
John Adams warned that the Constitution is wholly inadequate without a moral and religious people. As conservatives, we must reclaim the faith that shaped it, rooted in Jesus Christ and the Bible. To help you understand the historic Christianity that our country was founded on, check out theexaltedchrist.com, a resource website proclaiming Christ as King.
Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning is a fantastic new blend of herbs and vegetables made in Livingston County. Add a tablespoon to homemade breads, soups, stews, meat, poultry, vegetables, casseroles, sauces, and more. To order, email Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning at gmail.com or message the Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning Facebook page. It's time to divorce your Marry Me Chicken and take advantage of free delivery in and around Livingston County. Bunny's Fabulous Seasoning, the only seasoning you need.
Hello, I'm Mary Beth Patrikis, Mama Bear Productions, and I work with people who are motivated yet frustrated with their health and are looking for simple ways to look and feel their best. You may contact me at my email address, which is maryBeth@mamabearproductions.net. That's marybeth@MAMA, bear like the animal, productions.net, and we can set up a time to talk to see how, working together, you can thrive in life.
Ready to make your real estate dreams a reality? Meet Lisa R., your trusted expert in Livingston County. With 25 years in the real estate marketplace, she offers a seamless, stress-free experience. As a Real Estate One agent, Lisa has access to a network of over 2,000 agents and a one-stop shop for mortgage, title, and insurance services. Call Lisa R. at 734-260-7277 or visit her at Real Estate One in Brighton. Let her help you find your dream home or sell your property with confidence.
John Adams warned that the Constitution is wholly inadequate without a moral and religious people. As conservatives, we must reclaim the faith that shaped it, rooted in Jesus Christ and the Bible. To help you understand the historic Christianity that our country was founded on, check out theexaltedchrist.com, a resource website proclaiming Christ as King.
Whoops, I was supposed to do an intro. It didn't work. All right, I'm going to skip the intro. All right, well, this has been a great show. I had a lot of fun on this show tonight. It's always great when you get people that you can laugh with. And like I said, I think I've said it before that we laugh a lot on this. We laugh a lot, period. And we do have a good time here on this show. So glad we do appreciate everybody that's come out and watched. You get a chance, go to the Right Side News. Well, first of all, if you haven't subscribed to this thing, do so. Please subscribe to it. It doesn't do anything for you, but it helps monetize this for us. So appreciate it if you subscribe. I don't know if you can subscribe from where you are, but go to YouTube. I think you can subscribe from there. And check out the Right Side News. Check that out every week because we're going to add stuff on as, it's just starting. So I'm kind of, like, the snowball, when you first get it going, it kind of goes, but my snowballs tend to roll like the wind here before too long. So we will be rolling that one off pretty soon. So please check that out, rightsidenews.com, therightside.com. And again, we have our great events. We have our Lincoln Day dinner. We can sneak you a couple tickets if you need them. Let us know. We can sell them. We can sell you a couple last minute tickets. We've got a couple reserved for the last minute people that decide you want to come and have a good time. We are going to have a great night, I promise. And then the VIP tickets, of course, you can come in and meet The speaker's Coach Joe Kennedy from the movie Average Joe. It's his story about a high school football coach that got fired for praying on the field, and he took it all the way to the Supreme Court and won. So he's got a great story, and he'll share that. We also have Ryan Kelly coming to talk about his J6 imprisonment and how that happened and how that went. You get the VIP tickets. You get to go in early and meet with him, meet with the both of them. And also Mike Cox will be there, and Mike Rogers will be in the VIP room too. We have our meeting first Thursday of the month, 7:00. Everybody's welcome. Come on in. We have what I do every single month that I am getting a lot of encouragement to continue, so I will, and that's called the Chair's Perspective, and it's basically a 10 or 15 minute opening where I kind of explain legislation, I explain the process, I explain majority, I explain different things to people that don't live in that world, and it helps people understand why we need to do X, Y, and Z. This particular month will be called Stakeholders Galore or something like that. But it's what is the stakeholders? Who plays in decisions in Lansing or in Washington? And what are lobbyists? Lobbyists are the big people think lobbyists are the evil characters that buy legislators' votes, and that is not at all the case. So at our meeting, we'll have a lobbyist I've known for a long time, and she will explain exactly what lobbyist role is, and you'll be surprised when you hear what they really do. So come there, come the 7th. Any of these things you want to RSVP to or let me know or ask questions about, chair@Republicans with an S. I'm sorry, chair@LivingstonRepublicans.com. But did you already put that up there? No, you put right side. Would you put that up there, chair@LivingstonRepublicans.com? And you can ask me about it, RSVP to something. Let me know what you think. You got any ideas for future podcasts? Let me know. You're always welcome here to come watch or come hang out. Just let me know what it is. Okay, here we go. chair@LivingstonRepublicans.com. That's how you email me. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know you want to come to this stuff. We have our pancake throwdown coming up on the 7th, and the dancing is going to be a blast on the 18th. So I invite everybody that's watching to get involved in this stuff. If you haven't become a delegate, if you haven't said you want to be involved in any way, we have lots of ways. Do not think that once we get our hooks in you'll be doing things that you don't like, because that's not the way it is at all. So anyway, you saw the ladies here. We have a blast. And that blast is not limited to these ladies. We were the same way with the chairman as we are with the rest of our party. So thanks for watching. Thanks for coming in. Check out therightside.news.com. And we will next week. I don't know who we have next week. June 3rd, we have Brian Posthumus. And then coming here to talk about that ballot proposal we were talking about earlier. And then June 10th, we have Mike Rogers coming in to talk about his campaign. You know that this is his hometown. I am kicking off our candidate series with Mike Rogers. We're going to have some statewide candidates in here. So let's just lay it out right now that if you have a preferred candidate and it's not the guest that's on the show, that's fine. Keep it to yourself. We're bringing people in so you can get to know them. You can learn their preferences. You may find, oh my gosh, I don't agree with this person at all. That's fine. But we're not gonna get negative on this podcast. We'll be blocking anybody that does that. So like I said, you don't have to vote for the person. We're fine with that. We're not here to endorse. We're not here to we're not bringing them on here to endorse or to talk you into something. We are bringing them on here so you get to make up your own mind. Republicans believe in education. They believe in making up your own mind. You're not sheep. We don't expect you to do what you're told. We expect you to look, listen, and learn, and then make up your own mind. But if you've made up your own mind and you want to go another direction, we're cool with that. I don't want a candidate on here seeing the comments, bashing them. Okay. So let's just lay that out here, because I'm going to have all the candidates if I can get them here, maybe more than once. But my goal is to educate you. My goal is to let you meet them. My goal is, if you have questions, now ask the questions. We're not saying you can't talk. I just don't want any, I don't want any dogging. somebody said something earlier about one of the candidates, and I don't want to post it. I just don't. There's just no purpose in that. We've talked last week or the week before about political communication and what you should never do, and getting personal and going negative doesn't do anything good. So we're just not going to do that. We don't believe in getting the negative, not on a Republican. You want to get negative on a Democrat, go ahead, but not on a Republican. This is, all Republicans are Republicans, and you may not want to vote for them, but that doesn't mean you've earned the right or you have the right or the reason to disrespect them like that. So anyway, that's all. I don't feel that's unreasonable. You think that's unreasonable, Tyler? Tyler says no. So I think we're going to go with that. All right. Anybody have any questions, or anybody have some thoughts that they might want on this show in the future? There's the email right there. Send it to me. I love getting the mail telling me you like something, you didn't like something, you'd like to see something else. And Mark, I expect you to buy a ticket to my dinner on Thursday and come out here and introduce yourself. I will bring you up as the only Wayne County Republican on the planet that I'm aware of. So, all right. Good night, everybody. Have a great night. Have a great night. And we'll see, hopefully everybody watching, we'll see you Thursday at the dinner. Good night. I can't. They won't let me end my stream here. There we go.